Hey, my invisible learner, do you know the meaning of market? That is one of a composition of systems, institutions, procedures, social relations, or infrastructures where parties engage in exchange. There are many types of market we'll learn in our previous videos. Today let's check out a different kinds of market structures. These are monopsony. A monopsony is a market condition in which there is only one buyer, the monopsonist. In the original sense, monopsony means a single buyer of food supplies in general rather than a single buyer of fish as it has been previously asserted. So, the first thing that comes to our mind that what causes monopsony? A monopsony occurs when there is a sole or a dominant employer in a labor market. This means that the employer has buying power over their potential employees. This gives them wage setting power in the industry of the labor market. Monopsony is a potential cause of labor market failure. Therefore, in economics, a monopsony is a market structure in which a single buyer substantially controls the market as the major purchaser of goods and services offered by many would-be sellers. In microeconomic theory of monopsony, a single entity is assumed to have market power over sellers as the only purchaser of a good or service, much in the same manner that monopolist can influence the price of its buyers in the monopoly market, in which only one seller faces many buyers. So, let's check an example of monopsony market. The classic example of the monopsony in India is a company of coal town, where the coal company acts as the sole employer and therefore the sole purchaser of a labor in the town. In India, such as Dhanbad, Jharia, etc. Not only there are so many examples of monopsony market, but there are some examples like Amazon on a book market, 70% profit, Walmart on a clothing and goods, healthcare in United Kingdom, firms with a considerable economics of scale, etc. Do you know NASA also a monopsony buyer? It's 1960. The NASA is going to buy a rocket and soliciting proposals with private companies to build a new rocket. NASA will be the only buyer of rockets. Put together a 5-part proposal including price for the project for the NASA to buy. Let us check some general characteristics of the monopsony market. The first, single buyer faces many seller. Next, a form of imperfect competition. Buyer buys material with lower price. And the last, monopsony has buying or bargaining power in their market. Monopsony power exists when one buyer faces little competition from other buyers for that labor or good. A monopsony market has buying or the bargaining power in their market. This buying power means that a monopsony market can exploit their bargaining power with a supplier to negotiate lower prices. The reduced cost of purchasing inputs increases their profit margins, and therefore monopsony exists in both product and of course in labor market. Therefore, this market occurs when a firm has market in employing factors. These are the labor market. Where the monopsony power lever in labor market, we find that the National Health Service, Armed Force, big outsourcing business such as Capita and G4S, retailers such as Amazon, Sports Direct, major supermarkets, local councils or local authorities. Then we must say that monopsony power in the labor market is a very vital. Monopsony is a potential cause of a labor market failure. For a monopsony employer, the supply curve of labor equals the average cost of labor. The monopsony employer will have to bid up wages in order to attract new workers. But the wage they pay will not necessarily be equal to the true marginal revenue product of the people they have employed. Now, analyze this monopsony power when setting wages, where the profit maximizing of employment level in monopsony market is a MCL equals to MRPL. And in the figure we find that E2 in the red line, the number of the people are employed. Their marginal revenue product is values, the W2 orange line. Monopsony power of employer allows them to pay the wage rate W3. Monopsony employer can use their buying power to pay a wage lower than the value of the marginal revenue product of the workers employed at E2. Find that the wage is W2, but they paid the wage W3. And monopsony power can therefore lead to exploitation of employed workers. Hence, check out the benefits and disadvantages of this market also. The first advantage is lower cost. Obviously, it's have a bargaining power. And next, dictate exact specifications to suppliers. And last, don't have risks. The main disadvantages are abnormal profits and unequal distribution of goods and income also. That's all for today about this market. Before I conclude, let us quick look the difference between monopoly market and also monopsony market. In case of the monopoly, we must say that a single seller output, where monopsony is single buyer input. In monopoly, high price output. In case of the monopsony, low price input. In the case of the monopoly, there is a small quantity of output. And in monopsony, small quantity of input. A monopsony leads to an artificially low wage and a union leads to an artificially high wage. A market with both union and monopsony, union means a monopoly, and monopsony will have a wage somewhere between the two extremes. And that's all for today. If you like my video, then please like and subscribe and press the bell icon for further notification. That's all for today, and thank you so much, and thank you. Have a very good day.